Hey guys, this is RuRoniK95 here, and today we're going to be doing a re-review for the first time, because I know what you're thinking, because I haven't done a re-review on a movie before, and this is the first time. I wanted to do it to honor its anniversary as well. Today's movie re-review is The Iron Giant. The Iron Giant was based on the book by Ted Hughes, and this was directed by Brad Bird, who brought you The Incredibles and many of his works as well. Yeah, The Iron Giant features Jennifer Aniston, Harry Connick Jr., Vin Diesel, John Mahoney, and many others in this particular movie, like this one. So we're going to be doing this one as well for today. So, The Iron Giant tells a story about how it came from the sky and landed on the coast of near Rockwell as well. And then we see the kid named Hogarth Hughes, who is the main character in this movie, of how he brought his pet squirrel to the diner thing, and then till he met a guy named Dean, who is voiced by Harry Connick Jr. in this movie as well. And then moments later, he came back home. He talked to Hogarth, or Hogarth had to talk to his mother on the phone, and because she had to work a little late. And then evening comes, and Hogarth was watching a scary movie, and then he wanted to know something, and something ate the TV antenna, and then he knows that it was the invaders from Mars, but then he wants to go outside in the middle of the night. And then he notices something, like the power plant he notices. And then a mysterious giant figure who is made of metal comes in and eats something that is made of metal, and then causes the power. And then almost electrocuted with these lightning bolts. And then he turns off all the power in the Iron Giant, of how it goes. And then after Hogarth tried to save the giant's life from being electrocuted, and then he puts the rock in the giant's mouth, and then he came back alive, and then Hogarth found his mother. Hogarth's mother has found Hogarth wandering off at night, because she was worried sick, which is almost not in a good way. She tells him that, Hogarth tells him that it was actually a giant robot came from all the way to Earth. Because it was not even Sputnik as well, until we get to see a paranoid government agent who is named Kent Mansley. He always works for the government. He wanted to know of how something caused of how the power plant, especially when he tore up the power station in the movie. And then, because Hogarth left, he notices Hogarth's BB gun was left behind, which was the other night, of how he wanted to know. Because something ate the car, and then Kent Mansley said it was something big. And then Hogarth went out into the woods, and then he had some pictures, and then he first met the giant from the other night before. And then of how they became friends in that movie, especially Hogarth and the giant robot in this movie, of how, I mean, you know what I mean, particularly of how this movie goes as well. And the evening comes by, and then the giant almost caused a train wreck, but when he was about to eat the train tracks, but the train is coming, so you had to fix the train tracks in the right correct order, and then it causes the train crash and that. And then Hogarth has to take the giant robot to a shelter until before Hogarth's mother came home. And then Kent Mansley wanted to know, those who are part of the train wreck said it was a giant metal robot in that one. And then dinner has come, and Hogarth notices that the missing hand after the giant can fix this himself, like a do-it-himself way, and then it was the hand in it. And then that was before Kent Mansley came to talk to General Rogard on the phone about that he encountered a giant robot, and so, and that's, and then he notices it was the BB gun Hogarth left in that movie, and how you can check again real soon. And then Hogarth wanted to tell the giant robot that chose what he wanted to be Superman, because basically when he has how he wanted to know about what the giant has to choose, basically, until how it happened the other night, as how it goes from this movie progresses of how, and then Dean has noticed that Hogarth is with the giant robot, but then, yeah, because Dean notices that didn't even know where the giant robot came from, as well. And then, for some reason, Hogarth came back home, and the morning comes, and Hogarth was a little tired, not in a good way, particularly. And then Kent Mansley came from the same night before, and then when they were at Kent Mansley was very suspicious about how he wants to know where the giant robot came from, as well as talking about how he wants to send the troops for tomorrow as well, because those one of those ice cream sundae ones, he put those Cocoa X-Lax on the Cocoa Lax, which is basically X-Lax as well. You know what I mean, and just in an awkward way. And then Hogarth took off, and he's with Dean and the giant robot, and this were when they were at the lake as well. Particularly after when they were cooling themselves a little as well, from how things were going on. And then the giant notices a deer when Hogarth is with the giant robot as well. And as how the evening comes, Hogarth came back home after Hogarth tells the giant robot that souls don't die. The evening comes, and Kent Mansley has followed him home, and he was questioning in a serious manner way about where the giant robot is. But Hogarth refuses, but Kent Mansley has always wanted to keep interrogating Hogarth as well to know where the giant robot is, but then he gives out saying he was in the junkyard, which is McCoppin Scrap off Culver Road. And because it was only, and then he wakes up from a bad dream. Kent Mansley was talking to the sergeant as well until the next morning comes. Kent Mansley and his army, the troops as well, to know where the giant robot is, but then it was a trick. I think it was a piece of art and all, but then General Rogart got pissy with Kent Mansley, saying he'll be chief inspector of toilets. He has to pack him up and has to finish off. But then, the giant robot knew that why did the army came as well. Things goes on later on as well. The giant robot was in the city as well when he saved those kids from falling as well. But then Kent Mansley said it's the giant. It thinks the giant is attacking, but the giant wasn't, as well as how he was making a run away from the army because the army knows it was. But Dean tells Kent Mansley there's the kid in his hand because he just saved Hogarth's life in this one, and then the army until the Hogarth giant has flying through the sky when he's trying doing his own pose like Superman until those jets went near him, and then the army shot the giant down, and the giant goes berserk in ballistic to attack the troops as well. As well of how it goes, and then Hogarth's mother found. But then Hogarth tells the giant it's bad to kill because he does not want to be a gun in the movie, Kent Mansley was always wanted to go ballistic about how after General Rogart thinks that the giant robot is friendly, so the boy is alive after all. But then Kent Mansley told them to launch the missile. But then General Rogart said that Kent Mansley's cause behind all this. But then thinks the missile's gonna go down and destroy everything. But then the giant tells Hogarth he must stay, and the giant goes, and no following. And then the giant goes up into space to stop the missile from destroying the city in Rockwell, because Hogarth tells the giant robot, you chose what you be, and he said Superman in that one, and that's how he stopped the missile from launching as well. And then the next day comes, he received the missing piece from the general as well, especially with Dean and Annie Hughes, which is Hogarth's mother in that one. Until the evening comes, the missing piece that fixes the giant back together is in the coast of Iceland. And that's how it ends this movie, with a great ending. What I think of this movie, I really loved it. The story was great. The animation was great. I noticed there's some deleted scenes that were featured in, like, the signature edition, like, that are part of that makes it a more extended. Like in the dinner scene in The Iron Giant, where it shows Tomorrowland on TV as how you want to expect of how this goes. Even though this movie did premiere on July 31st, 1999 in the Grauman's Chinese Theater, but it did premiere worldwide in August 6, 1999. Because this is a outstanding movie. The animation's great. I like how they animated the giant robot in this movie. But I understand that the giant robot was voiced by Vin Diesel, who is from the Fast and the Furious movies, and he was also the voice for Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy in this particular movie. And this features John Mahoney from Frasier, and because this is an outstanding masterpiece movie from Warner Brothers. I like this movie because I'm gonna give this, I want to do like a re-review on this movie as well, because I wanted to do this for the first time because I really love this instant classic movie, what The Iron Giant takes as how it goes, from what I come to think of it as how it goes. The Giant's nightmare scene, this was also included in the signature edition. I think this was part of the deleted scene, including the other deleted scenes that were not used in the original theatrical cut version, but they were also part in the signature edition of The Iron Giant. I'm going to give this classic movie a 5 out of 5, because if you haven't seen The Iron Giant, give this a watch. You can get this on DVD or Blu-ray. This is an outstanding classic. So that's going to be it for my re-review on The Iron Giant for today. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's what I'm going to say for this one. This is the first re-review on this movie, because even though I've already done a movie review on The Iron Giant, this came out on this day for its anniversary of The Iron Giant. It came out in 1999, which I'll give you some of my words of how this movie came out on this day for its anniversary as well. Hope subscribe for content. My Anime Planet link in the description down below. You can share this video on your Twitter and Facebook if you have Twitter and Facebook account, on all its social media. Smack the like button if you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave in the comments in the comments section below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RuRoniK95. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel. Smack the notifications bell button. Be sure to get notified as well. Feel free to leave in the comments section below about The Iron Giant, especially because I wanted to do a re-review on this classic movie from 1999. Because I gotta admit, though, because this is an outstanding classic movie from Warner Brothers, because that didn't take very long, because this is RuRoniK95 saying thank you for watching my video, and I'm glad you liked it. I hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next re-review on this movie, and have a great day. Stay tuned for my next re-review on the movie Heavy Metal. This is RuRoniK95 signing off, and thank you for watching my video, and I will see you soon for more videos.